jump in and start the fights on his own terms. It's going to have to start with the Void or the Silencer first, the Enigma to follow up.
But that's a lot of reliance on just Silence.
Yeah, but that's really where I see the value coming out. Otherwise, it's a bit iffy. There's a lot of ways to control you up, so with the way the draft is going, you really need to have at least the global silence go off first and you follow up.
Radiant team.
Unless, of course, the Enigma just goes for a quick BKB. Then you've only got to be worried about the Ensnare, I guess. We'll see what happens. I'm always happy to see an Enigma, John. You know that. It doesn't matter how bad or good of a game it is for it. It's always exciting. RNG. What do they pick up last? What do they even need? It feels like they need an offlane. Run Chongqing and the Naga in the offlane if you seriously want to.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably tie up your draft with something that can really set the tempo for yourself. I feel like Sand King's banned out, of course. The Beastmaster's gone as well, which would have been really nice. So, few options still there for the offlane. I don't know. It feels like FTD definitely banned out the heroes that RNG would have definitely wanted to pick up. So that's a pretty good set of bans from them, as most of the offlaners that you do want are kind of gone. Beastmaster would have been amazing here, because you could definitely just screw up that Enigma, screw up the Void, and cause a lot of havoc in that lane. Gives you a lot of vision as well, scout around. The Tidehunter would have been okay. It works quite well again with the Naga Siren. That's an old combination we haven't seen in a while. In fact, even the Naga Siren in Chikiro is pretty old that we have not seen. And, it just works out well. RNG does go for the NP in the end.
Very strange drafts, I've got to say, John and Bills, for both teams. FTD, they tied up with the Razor pick now. I mean, overall, the Razor, a great laning stage hero. It's just very hard to contest, and I suppose if it's going to be up against that mid Kunkka, it's going to be pretty hard for Setsu to get anything done, but overall, apart from that, I don't really see why you go the Razor. I guess they just want to secure that mid lane and make sure that Setsu can't get off to a good start.
I think it's pretty good against the heroes on RNG, at the very least the cores. You can clear out the Koreans quite well. With your Plasma Field, you can slow down the damage coming out from One, slow down the damage coming out from Setsu as well. So I think there is some value in this Razor. It probably doesn't need too much to get online as well. So they can start applying the pressure once they hit 6. All they really need is EXP in this lineup, but it needs a lot of EXP to get going, Mike. You want a fast 6 on all of these heroes, and there's only so much you can get from the map. Someone's going to have to get shafted.
How it goes. It's going to be a fun one, to say the least. There's a lot of big ultimates coming out.
Would have been a nice game for Rubik, but didn't quite come out. Probably banned out early as well. I don't actually remember seeing Rubik banned out, but it would have been nice this game, didn't you think, Mike? You have Chronosphere to steal, you have the Black Hole to steal. Would have been very interesting for RNG to have that, but we do have the off-root Earth Spirit coming out, so I feel like that's a treat in and of itself.
Yeah, the thing is, John, I still feel like, and I know we're gonna disagree on this, I still feel like it's weaker than it is stronger. I just don't like how Boulder Smash works now. The slow is insane. Don't get me wrong, it does slow people down to a ridiculous amount, but I feel like the 2-second stun was just so much better. Especially because you could multi-stun. Whereas with the roll, you're generally only going to find one person to stun.
That's a fair point, but I feel like, again, it's not stronger, it's not weaker in my opinion, its toolkit is different. It still has that same great impact, you just have to think differently how to use your toolkit.
Yeah.
It's not strong, it's not weak. It's like looking at the Ricky changes before. It's like he switched up from way before and his toolkit was just a bit strange. But I feel like it wasn't stronger, it wasn't weaker, it was just very different. Although at that point, Fresh Ricky was a bit broken.
Yeah.
The battle begins.
Go to each team. Nothing too special going on here, although... No, they end up getting 3 runes on the side of FTD. I didn't realize Faded was there trying to snag that top bounty rune. So a nice start for FTD. Get that little extra gold going to the full team. And it does also look like we have a mid-Enigma versus a mid-Nature's Prophet, believe it or not.
That is not the norm, and it looks like they are rotating Setsu back. So SRF just here to soak a little bit while he was off doing something else, apparently just probably trying to secure those runes earlier on.
They didn't end up putting the Razor into that mid lane quite yet. Now it is. YRG does switch over though. SRF just sticks around in that mid lane, and you can see Setsu, he does not want a bar of this Razor. He just makes his way back down a bot. I can't blame him for this. Like, you can't win this lane as a Kunkka. So he makes a smart choice. So you've got SRF now, who's apparently going to be playing a core Nature's Prophet.
It's going to be interesting to see Mike. Very strange. Look, a TP again from YRG. He just wants to really face off against this Kunkka, and then you're going to see FTD rotate that Enigma once more as well. That's a lot of movement, Mike.
Yeah, Setsu just trying to make a run for it. See who drops the ball first. Who gives up on rotating? I feel like FTD is just going to get sick of this, and they're just going to be like, nah, look, let's just stay at the bot lane. The Setsu looks like he's on a mission, not moving. Well, he is moving every single time he sees that Razor. Looks like YRG isn't going to make a move this time around. He does stay bot. With that, now you have a Kunkka versing and an Enigma in the mid lane, which is probably going to be one of the only times we see this happening in a long time.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense. You can clear out the Eidolons quite well, you can apply some pressure, although I feel like with an XP advantage, Enigma just kind of snowballs off, so if you're Setsu right now, you do want to kind of play catch-up in terms of EXP to keep up with just how much an Enigma can do in lane.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a 2-level advantage right now. It's about to be a 1-level advantage, but nonetheless, still gonna hurt Setsu. We haven't really talked about top lane at all yet though, but BT Faded is there on the Void. QY will be with them. They are up against Monet and Seth. They, of course, can be very aggressive because of that Riptide. Especially if it just keeps triggering. It's just so infuriating to go up against. Mind you, we have seen a couple core Naga Sirens, which, I mean, in terms of the right-click build, where, you try and get those mirror images to keep proccing the Riptide, it never seems to work out. Like, it always feels like the Naga Siren just goes more into just being that position 4. In fact, as I say, that QY gets in trouble, he will back off. But yeah, as I was saying, John, it never feels like he's able to just sit there and right-click someone to death.
Yeah, I feel like Naga Siren kind of lacks in terms of just raw right-click capability. You do want to supplement yourself with some control. And some levels and snare really helps.
YRG in trouble. Torrent will end up connecting. YRG just going to end up dying. So, very close indeed. Setsu. It was a very unlucky miss from SRF at that bot, the lower ground, but nevertheless they did move YRG into the mid lane and he gets punished for it immediately.
Nice clean first blood coming the way of RNG. The one thing they have to take note though is that now their Kunkka is rotating again. It's never gonna end.
Yeah, Setsu's just gonna play chicken with the Razor the whole time. James now being chased down by Arfu. No mana available on Arfu to throw out the Boulder Smash, so he'll let that one go. So can't really take too much advantage of that haste. Again, it looks like SRF has joined in that mid lane as the Nature's Prophet to go up against YRG on that Razor. And this is really lovely though from the side of RNG, right? Because the thing is, this Razor isn't really doing what it's made to do now.
Yeah, I think that's the entire point of the rotation. Razor again really dominates that flaning phase, just sucking out any sort of physical damage from carry, of course with Static Blink being the emphasis. when you can't really maximize your laning phase, you really can't flash farm too well, and your impact just kind of wanes. So, not having that great start as a Razor slows your gameplay down by quite a fair bit.
Bot lane, there is gank attempt going on right now. SRF is there. They're trying to go onto that Enigma, and they do find him. Though they do lose Arfu as a trade, it looks like they will end up finding James as well, unless he gets a deny off himself. But the Sprout is there just in case, and Setsu will pick up that kill. And look at YRG. Down at that bot lane again. Seen this before. Setsu has a TP, he just needs the mana for it, and he has it in a few mana. And he's just going to go straight back mid. He gets linked up. Doesn't throw any abilities out quite yet, and Setsu, just wait for it. Not quite yet. Does buy a bracer for himself. No, he's going to stick around.
Oh.
That's a...
No, I think he's just waiting for Afu to bring him some, bring him his mangoes, his bracer. Is he going to TP? It looks like, yeah, you're right. He's just going to stay here.
Oh, X. Torrent will come out. YRG will cop it. Now Afu rolls in, and they do have SRF there. They want to punish YRG again for moving over to this lane. The slow is very nice on YRG, and he does end up falling to SRF. And it's just funny because he can't, like, this Razor cannot do anything with the advantage he's meant to have with that static link.
Yeah, and now they rotate Setsu out. So here we go again, just the Kunkka versus Enigma mid. They are TPing YRG back to mid as well.
Stop it, YRG, stop it. SRF gets James at the bot lane. Now they're still going on to Setsu, but he had a nice torrent there, and YRG, it's a slap for his trouble. We'll see how long this one lasts. I mean, Setsu does not have a TP available for another 50 seconds. At this point, though, does it even matter that much anymore? Like, YRG, they are the same level. In terms of farm, though, in fact, I was about to say the Kunkka's in front, but he's not. He may be because of those kills, but the last hits, YRG is still ahead.
I mean, he has been walking around his map like Setsu has just been moving every single time, so...
We go again. YRG goes in, so Arfu's already there to help out. Now the slow, the roll away, and he perfectly fine Arfu.
Oh!
SRF! The chrono came out, BT faded. I'm not sure what that was, John. It looks like he thought Arfu was in the tree line somewhere. Now SRF will lose his life. Arfu, he does get the roll off onto James, but I think he wanted to get away from this. He does have the Boulder Smash available, but he does get shackled up, and this should be a kill. So he does kick away the Void. The Ether Shock will be there from James to secure the kill. What the hell was that chrono, though?
Bit of a misplay from VT Faded. You can see him calling out now with a my bad, but I guess he thought he could catch SRF. Just bad estimation. It happens, Mike, right? You estimate wrong.
Bot lane, they will catch out Setsu on that Kunkka. He has not thrown out a boat. In fact, he's not even level 6 yet. They will find a trade, however, and they're going to find a secondary. So 2 down for the side of FTD. Now BT faded. He's not going to, well, he is going to be able to back off, and the side of RNG are not going to be able to chase. But it's a 2-for-1 trade. Doesn't seem too bad at all. Now YRG shows himself at the bot lane again. But he's going to find nothing out of this, and you know Setsu's just going to go straight back to mid. I'm not sure why he popped up down at the bot lane. In fact, he's running his way back to mid now.
Gonna pick up the double damage rune for his troubled soul, but yeah, this walking game keeps going on, Mike.
They're very fit people, John.
Very fit indeed.
So you see Arfu, he drew out a line in that mid lane, straight towards that Razor. So expect Arfu to come in with SRF, perhaps go for another gank attempt on this Razor. I just don't see why the hell not. The bot lane now is being pushed in, and Arfu will stick around there. Well, again, we haven't really talked about top lane at all. BT faded, farming decently, we'll bring up the net worth, and it's actually SRF that's the top with this core Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, they've had
SRF's having a great time.
They've had a really good start for RNG. Pretty good in the trades, and that top lane was not very easy for VT Faded anyway. He's playing against an August Iron. They were applying quite a fair bit of harass. At some point, Naga just gets way too much, armor up as well, so your right-click harass is not there. And
rolls into 3 of them. The Ice Path is there. He just wanted that bounty rune. The slow is there with the boulder smash as well. He will lose his life for this. And I guess in the end, like, you got the bounty rune, it's probably worthwhile, but still a bit questionable. YRG, X, current, both. The ore goes in. YRG really not having a fantastic game this time around. 4 deaths already at the 10-minute mark. Setsu takes the kill, walks back into the mid lane, and gets back to farming.
yeah, I think that's worthwhile for RNG. I mean, sure, you lose Afu, but Runes are worthwhile. And at the very least, you get a kill on the Razor after, so that really makes it worthwhile. And on top of that, I mean, you're just forcing FTD to group up as 4, which means the Naga Siren is free farming, the Void is still trying to play catch up, and I think overall you're happy with the state of the game if you're RNG.
Bot lane, have a go here. Like Arfu has already jumped in with the Magnetize. Ice Path will connect onto James. They do get the Sprout off as well. James should just be dead here. A lot of magnetizing going on. In fact, he found another with that roll. QY will also end up losing his life, and another great rotation from RNG. They'll make it 11-5. And while all that's happening, Monet has pretty much been free farming at that top lane.
Yeah, he's been left alone. 5.4k net worth, tied up with Nature's Prophet, and definitely a fair bit ahead of VT Faded, who is also free farming, working towards that Battle Fury. Again, I'm not sure about this in Faces Void. We've seen this a couple of times now, Mike, and I feel like the impact is not amazing, right? Doesn't help your early team fights. It's definitely all about the farm, and I just feel like if you're FTD, you play around your cooldowns a lot more than playing the farm game.
Certainly not working out very well for FTD whatsoever.
An exceptional
To your point, like VT Fade just holding onto the Chrono. The Black Hole is also up, but seeing how these team fights go, like, they're just not working out at all. Mind you, you do have the Global Silence up now. They are smoke rotating over to Monet, although it is SRF now rather than Monet. Has left the lane. They're really not going to catch anyone, this smoke attempt.
Yeah, that's a bit more wasted time again. As FTD, you really want to take these early team fights, translate it to a tower with your Shadow Shaman. But RNG is just, they respond to your rotations when you're jumping one person by the tower. And when the creep wave is not near the tower, they don't really go too far out. So your window of opportunity is really limited. Yeah. The Warden coming out from FTD is not amazing as well. They have wards in their own jungle, none in the Radiant jungle, which I feel like they really need if they want to find these ganks.
Just looking at the Razor's net worth right now as well, John. YRG, he's the 4th worst net worth on the game right now. He's below his Shadow Shaman. Like, this is how bad of a game YRG's had the whole time. 3.5k net worth. He's almost half of what SRF is. Now you got a Diffusal Blade up on the Naga Siren as well. So suddenly it's going to be a lot harder to get away once Monet uses that Diffuse on this Razor. I feel like the Naga doesn't really care about the static link because the mirror images and the Riptide is the whole point of the hero right now. And we're seeing again another smoke rotation, but RNG are just all over it. They're already pushing that top tier 2 tower out. I guess we'll see if FTD can get a trade out of this, but they're taking a lot more slowly than SRF is right now.
Oh yeah, and they did have to drop the Serpent Wards for this, so that tool won't be there in case they do force a team fight for RNG, so looks like they will be able to take that tier 2 in trade. That is a tier 2 for a tier 2.
BT, Chrono, he does find 2 of them. Global Silence comes out as well to make sure they can't cancel anything off. Now the Black Hole, can he find anyone? No, the song is there in time. Arfu, the only one caught out. Will they turn it around? Yeah, the Ice Path is there. Only connects on 1. Sepp trying to make a run for it now. The slowdown is there with the Boulder Smash. Sepp still making a run for it. Arfu somehow still alive throughout all this, although he will be the sacrificial lamb for the sake of his cause getting away. I guess, I mean, you commit the Chrono, you only get 1 kill out of it, and that wasn't due to the Chrono. Not to mention the Global Silence was also there from the Silencer, John, but it just was not really that effective.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for FTD in the next 2 minutes, I'd say. That's a window for RNG to make stuff happen. Even then, if they don't really force the issue, it's just 2 minutes of free farm where you are guaranteed FTD will not be rotating, right? They don't have their big team fight ults, and that's a chance for RNG to really exploit the weaknesses in FTD's draft. They are roaming around now. I don't think they caught out the Enigma. They're gonna check that dark bot jungle Rhine area.
Why are they running through, it seems like? No, they do back off. Perhaps they have spotted up the Enigma, or they will now. Setsu runs right into him, and he's not expecting this. He does have the black hole if he wants to try and turn it around, but the boat's already coming in, and it looks like, yeah, he's just unlocked. Up losing his life, and now you don't have black hole available for another 30 seconds until the Enigma respawns.
Yeah, it looks like this bot tower is just gonna go Afu.
Again, Afu goes for the slow on James. Gotta be careful about this. The shackles there on SRF as well. Now the static link coming in handy. Finally, they get SRF's damage off, although he still finds the final right click. Now looking for YRG. And they Sprout will actually catch him out exactly. Setsu runs in. YRG completely surrounded right now. Those mirror images might just do the job for him. But no, they'll leave him alone because now the Enigma's back. Its snare will be there. SRF. Just hold him in place with that Sprout. And now the song. It looks like RNG have had enough. They found a couple kills already, and they will back off, back to safety.
Yeah, really well executed from RNG. I'm just taking a really big kill on VT Faded, and, you know, finding the Shadow Shaman as well, preventing any sort of come around from FTD. Just really smart, really good balanced play coming out from RNG. FTD, we have yet to see their combination really work out. I don't think we've seen a black hole yet, Mike. I feel like that's one thing they really have to make use of ASAP. The black hole does have to come out, along with that global silence. I think it's much stronger right now than the global silence plus chronosphere. You want that black hole much more.
It goes back to what I said though in the draft phase, like that global silence, relying on it doesn't seem like it's enough. Once you've gone through that chrono duration, the global silence wears out, and then suddenly you've got a song that's going to cancel it off no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the prioritization shouldn't be in that chronosphere. It should be, you should definitely start with black hole. I feel like at the very least, you do a bit more damage to that compared to, Monet.
Gets caught out with the ensnare. I mean, he can black hole right now if he wants, but he's almost certainly dead. Again, 30 seconds where you know that Enigma isn't going to be anywhere near you. And they're drawing lines out through the base side of RNG. I mean, they're feeling very confident right now. And I guess they really should be.
They are quite in the lead. 4K, not too insane, but a lead nonetheless. And that's considering you're playing against a Razor who really wants to come online early. Just not happening for YRG. The farm on VT Faded is also, you know, it's a bit behind, for sure. He does have his Battle Fury up, so he should be farming a bit better, but...
Down off Fu. Does throw out the boulder smash. Again, it's just a slow now, though. Can't roll out of it. While he's silenced, he will end up falling. They found somebody else. Yes, they have. SRF gets caught out. He did use the Orchid on the Enigma, though. The Black Hole, it will come out. I mean, this is a core kill for them, though. Ice Path is there. Now SRF, he actually just TP's out of there, but he will not make it. QY barely finds him with that last word.
That would have been so bad if you couldn't even kill... Wait, what?
Buyback coming out from Arfu. It looks like there was a fear of a chrono being used on Monet. But it was only the Void by himself, and they had vision behind the Void, so they would have known if somebody else was coming. Probably no necessity for that buyback to occur, but nevertheless it has happened now. They are going to try and make some use of this. They aren't going to find anybody.
Dire are scanning.
A lot of pings coming out. Nobody seems to want to go up that hill, and it looks like they're trying to say, get to the damn Roshan right now. I just brought back to this.
Again, a bit of an odd buyback, not something you'd expect, but that was a very close call for FTD. Getting that kill on SRF was definitely really big, but they almost didn't even have that. So, Black Hole's on cooldown, Chronosphere's up, Global Silence is up. Let's see if something can happen here, Mike.
Well, they're going on to Arthur on that Earth Spirit. Now the Chrono. No, Silence comes out immediately from SRF. So he couldn't actually get it off. Now the Global Silence is there. They couldn't find VT Faded with the X boat. Fight continues. They want the Enigma this time. And he's popping a lot of damage to the Chrono. It will only get the Jakiro, and the Song is there immediately.
Is under attack.
With that, look at the Enigma. He's still dying to these damn trees, John. And now the Ensnare is there on the Void. He's gone. VT Faded. You have to catch that Naga Siren, otherwise you're not getting the Chrono off. And with that, 3 heroes go down for the side of FTD. They get the die back on Arfu, but he's got a small respawn timer anyway. He's not going to care about that. And the Roshan will be given to the way of RNG.
There's no way you can contest it as FTD either, even if you bought it back now. Your ultimates are on cooldown. And well, I have to say, that's the second Chronosphere we've seen that really was just less than ideal. Not what FTD is looking for when they land these ultimates, and James is in a spot of trouble now.
Yeah, he's been caught out. There's the Silence as well. He knows he's dead. He'll try to make a run for it, but SRF, he's hitting very hard. And you've got to give it to SRF, John. Every time VT Faded's been in range to get a nice Chrono off, there's been a Silence from that Orchid straight away. He did have the opportunity to get a 3-man Chrono. But with that Silence, he was forced to back out. By the time he came back in, I mean, don't get me wrong, Monet was pretty close to getting caught in that Chronosphere just on the edge, but he managed to avoid it. And like I said, when that happens, just forget about the Chrono, just get out of there.
Definitely so. Again, I feel like the execution for FTD needs to be a bit tighter, but why are G forced to BKB out?
Yeah, that's a big loss. Yeah. That's a 10-second charge, John.
Ooh, not what you like to see. We've seen this in a few games before, Mike. When your cores are forced to BKB to TP home, it's not a good sign. With a fresh BKB as well, it's a waste. You want that in a big team fight, and just using it to run away, you save your life, but man, you lose the value of that BKB very fast.
Yeah, not to mention the surprise factor of it. Now the whole side of RNG are very well aware that you have that BKB up. They'll be keeping an eye out for that. Meanwhile, bot lane will start pushing in that final tier 2 tower. In fact, I say final, but there is a mid one left. Monet will get the second last tier 2 tower available side of FTD. There's absolutely no contestation. Nobody trying to defend that whatsoever. We have the Chrono Black Hole and Global Silence up. And hey, he's giving it to them. He moves forward. The Hex is there. It's almost like he's telling them to come try it. But the thing is, he's got the Aegis up as well. So even if you commit everything just to kill off this Naga Siren, not only have you got all the other heroes to worry about in the back lines, but you've still got a Naga Siren to worry about.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for FTD to take these fights again. You already have to commit every single ult you have to secure these team fights. You can't quite secure those team fights with the Aegis up on Naga Siren as well. Even if you take her out, she's going to be back up with that Song, and they're just going to disengage or reposition to take the fight better. And what does FTD do now? Right, like their Razor is falling quite a fair bit behind. Their Void has a BKB plus Battle Fury. Still not the most amazing thing in teamfights. You're probably getting shoved out in your side lanes. Your tier 3s are going to be under threat fairly soon. Your mid tier 2 is really open as well. And
they do end up finding the Void mid lane. SRF, he ends up getting QY. Faded is trying to man-fight Monet right now with a BKB charge, Johnny. He uses his 10-second BKB for that. He did not get anywhere near to killing Monet.
Oh no, definitely not. And not a good sign for FTD. Again, when your cores pop these 10-second BKBs, you want something done. It's just not coming out for FTD right now. And RNG now taking the last tier 2 tower from FTD. That means the high ground's definitely for the taking. They still have the Aegis. FTD does have tools for a big team fight. But can they get that initiation?
ensnare is there. Now they roll in the stun. The black hole though has caught 2 of them. Aegis is still available on that Naga Siren, though they will find Arfu. Can they commit the chrono for this Naga? I think so, but the Ice Blast was there just as he casted it. Can they burst the Naga down to Monet? He will end up falling. They will find him. That feels well worth it for the side of FTD. Now they make the chase onto Setsu. He's copying a lot of damage from YRG. That 166 stolen damage, and they will find 3 kills for the side of FTD. That's the best they've executed it, and John, it finally works out for them. But, I mean, you notice the key was there. They had to just get that Naga Siren.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of how FTD wins these fights. They have to take out that Naga straight up, and really no messing about it. You have to kill the Naga Siren twice. I mean, you know, in that case twice over, but you always have to really aim that Naga first, and you're gonna have to expend everything. Afterwards, you can probably take the fights. I have a feeling that one key thing for FTD there was that SRF was not around, and most of the heroes were a bit out of position. It felt like our Naga Siren Monet was a bit keen pushing that high ground. Everyone else seemed to be just out of position to follow up. It was only Afu nearby him really, for the most part, so a bit of a strange positioning from RNG for that high ground push, but definitely a very good fight from FTD. We know the potential of this lineup, and that's just how strong it is if it can go off. The issue is, right now, there's around a minute, or at least half a minute, where they are open. Like, RNG has their ults up, and FTD, not quite.
That's the problem though, right? Like, it seems like RNG aren't willing to go for another team fight yet. Perhaps they're waiting for the next Roshan or next opportunity. They may find James top lane, because SRF just TPs up, Shadowblade, and with that Orchid, pretty much James is just free kill for him. The question is, can they make something of this kill? There's no buyback available on that Shadow Shaman, but it looks like they aren't in a position to actually get something out of this on the side of RNG.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like right now they're happy enough to just trade farm. They want Monet probably to finish that Butterfly first. I'm not sure if it's really worthwhile waiting, because the Void is starting to catch up in terms of farm as well. And I feel like VT Faded is going to be a big threat as he plays catch up here. He's not far behind anymore. He's 1k behind SRF, around 2k behind Naga Siren. So he's in a good spot, right? He's definitely not too far behind. He's going to have a lot of impact in these team fights now. And you have to be a bit worried about if you're RNG. Like, none of your heroes went for BKB, so that, except Kunkka. So at the very least, you have Setsu with that BKB, but otherwise your NP didn't go for BKB, Naga Siren, no BKB. So that Global Silence is still gonna mess you up. And you have to start worrying about just the potential of FTD's lineup.
It's happy to farm right now, it seems. FTD, I'm sure, are a lot happier to farm. I feel like RNG... Honestly, I wouldn't say they're on a timer. Like, they still do have a Naga Siren and the Nature's Prophet, but it does feel a bit more like they get weaker as time goes on. QY just ends up dying to the Nature's Wrath. Can they find anything out of this kill? He's got no Global Silence up for 30 seconds. But RNG... it doesn't look like they're willing to go for this quite yet.
Yeah, again, just a bit conservative here for RNG. And I, quite frankly, don't really blame them. I feel like they want a bit more before they can really secure that high ground. In terms of pickoffs, at least, if you can maybe get the Silencer plus either the Enigma or the Void, that's when you're really gonna be able to push that high ground fairly safe. Besides that, it's just a lot of positioning, it's a lot of farming, it's a lot of waiting for the other side to screw up.
Well, Scythe of Vice is now up on SRF as well. Like, you've got so much control on this one hero. And if SRF is just in teamfight, like, now you've got so many ways to ruin this Chrono, or so many ways to ruin this Black Hole. You look to the Enigma, he isn't even trying to go for anything like a BKB either. No attempt at it. He's going for a Crimson Guard next, but I don't feel like that's the problem that FTD is having. Yes. Baited. chrono attempt now. Monet is pretty close by, but they haven't scouted him out quite yet. Doesn't look like they will for the moment either, although there will be a scan on Monet.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Regeneration! Gold is a great electric.
Yes. So, at top lane, they have caught out SRF on that Nature's Prophet, and that's going to be a massive pickup if they can find it, and they do. Now they go for more. Chrono is used for the sake of killing this Conqueror off. Can they get it though? Yes, they can. They do take him down, 2 massive cores being gone, and James, he does lose his own life, but who the hell cares about that? You just found 2 cores on the side of RNG, and I feel like this hesitation from the Radiant end is starting to cost them a bit.
Definitely is, Mike. That was also a BKB charge from Setsu again. 10-second BKB popped for really nothing. So a good clean pickoff for FTD. And I feel like if RNG keeps slipping up like this, it's going to be very hard to take these fights as it goes on. You know, it just gets so hard to contest a black hole and a chronosphere and a global silence when your Nagasaran has no BKB. Your BKB charge on your Kunkka is gonna start ticking down soon. Your Nature's Prophet has no BKB either, and for certain your Chikira won't have that, although he has the Yules, at the very least to purge that silence off. But you are starting to face a few issues as RNG, because FTD is finding the kills they want. And they're holding on to their high ground quite well. It's not been pressured in a while.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Enigma did actually change his mind. He did go for the BKB instead of that Crimson Guard, which I gotta say, it's a much smarter decision on his part, I feel. With that now, suddenly half the ways you had of cancelling that black hole is just gone. In fact, I believe the only way they can cancel it if the BKB is up is that ensnare.
No, the snare doesn't go through Match Community, sadly enough.
Well, in that case, they've got no way to cancel it.
Pretty much, yeah.
See what they do. The Roshan being taken by Monet right now, and it seems like FTD aren't quite aware of what's going on here. Seems like the perfect opportunity for them, but no vision available to actually scout them running in, and 3 Roshans going to the way of RNG now.
Yeah, pretty good pickup for RNG. Again, they did have Roshan last time they attempted a high ground. Didn't quite work out. Let's see if they can maximize this Rosh plus the cheese. Should make it a bit easier, but again, I'm starting to get a bit worried about how they deal with the big team fight of RNG. Okay.
They're going in right now. The Chrono is there. BT baited. He only finds 1 though. He has got SRF. That's a big target. Can he burst him? No. SRF, he had a cheese available. BT baited. The slow is there from Boulder Smash. Arthur misses the roll though. They do have the Hex up on that Void. If they can burst him down though, the black hole, it will find only 1. Monet is the target. Can they burst Monet down at least? He has an Aegis available. And, well, last word is there, but I don't believe that'll kill him off. And it won't. He manages to walk out safely. With that, he has a hard up. He can reset and just go back into that mid lane.
Yeah, and that's basically all your teamfight ults down for FTD, so if there's a window of opportunity for RNG, this is it, Mike. They have to take this high ground, but all those cooldowns are, you know, are off, and you have to take these objectives, because it's very hard to take these 5v5s when there's teamfight ultimates are up.
They jump in, BT baited, no chrono available, he's just trying to right-click Setsu down. Now Monet again on the run.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Black hole is not available either, and well, Song comes out. He wants to protect Sep, though there is a very nice ice path onto 3 if he wants to land it, but it was on cooldown, John. He couldn't actually get the chance, and now BT Faded's going to make the chase onto him. Sep, can he actually outrun them? Well, they've gone the Enigma as well. Their wards have been dropped on Monet. They don't really deal much damage to him whatsoever, and now Arfu's found James. They're going to go after the Shadow Shaman, though YRG starts with a static link onto Monet. Now Arfu, he's falling very, very low. Monet just trying to make a run for this. James does end up going down. Monet is so low right now. He still has the Aegis, mind you, but they will finally get it. Can they find anything else out of this? Still no chrono available. They may not even need it though. Monet Actually going to turn around and fight back. BT Faded fell very low. In fact, QY, he does end up losing his life in BT. You cannot man-fight a Naga like this. He does make a run for it. Unfortunately, the Enigma has been caught out by that Sprout. And it looks like one more right click will do the job. Meanwhile, SRF does end up finding BT Faded, and YRG's been caught out as well. Looks like he's going to lose his own life, and there's so many diebacks going on right now on the side of FTD, John. This could be GG.
No Void, no Enigma. All you have is the Razor and the Silencer for the next 20 seconds until Shadow Shaman's up as well. At the very least, you're going to lose one set of racks, probably two set of racks if you're not careful. Or if, you know, RNG opts to, they can just pressure those tier 4s. Now they go for the rack. For towers and racks, safer move, but they have been playing quite safe this game.
Yeah. I mean, Mega Creeps will be pretty nice to you regardless. If they kill off the Razor, that could be the end of it, and they will not get the Ice Path off, though they have found the Shadow Shaman again. It looks like James will probably end up losing his life, and he does. No buyback available on that Shaman. There should just be an easy Mega Creeps coming out from RNG and FTD. I do wonder, are they going to continue once those Megas are out? So they're going to continue to try the defense. So Arfu, he found YRG. YRG forced the BKB up, and he will start trying to find a return kill onto Arfu, but it won't come out. RNG, easy Mega Creeps for themselves. And with that, FTD, they do not call it quite yet. They want to have a go at this.
They have all the tools they need. Of course, the Global Silence is back up. When Void's up, he's going to have Chronosphere. You have the Black Hole as well. You have the tools here for a big turnaround. Can they find the window of opportunity, Mike? Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough, but all the tools are there once again. It's going to be an uphill battle, though, as they are playing against Mega Creeps. And I guess they do have decent clear. It's just, it's definitely not going to be easy, Mike.
Not to mention the fact that they're 20k net worth behind now. Like SRF, he just went to pick up an Assault Cuirass for himself. He can get rid of those drums if he really wants, but he's basically 6-ball at the moment. You look to Sep, he actually went for an Aghanim Scepter. So now you've got that Macropie that seems like it never ends. It lasts for 30 seconds. It's one of those things where it just removes a whole patch of ground that you can fight on. The damage is just generally quite insane, that Macropie. That FTD, unless they can pretty much connect all the dots with their ultimates, I don't know how well they can fight this team now.
Top shrine has fallen.
Side of RNG, they are already awaiting somebody to make the wrong move. See Arfu ready to roll in whenever necessary. That Heaven's Halberd as well on the Kunkka. So even if you land that Chrono, you've got to be wary of that Heaven's Halberd from the Kunkka, otherwise it could just be another waste of Chrono.
Yeah, definitely. So you do have the Lincoln Sphere to counteract that, though.
Going in.
Okay.
The Hex is there. The Void's going to be the target. Black Hole is available, and he will BKB up, but nobody's in range. They baited out the Black Hole at the very least, and now the roll in. Chrono is still available, but the Song was there. Boat was there to protect. Now the Ice Path will come in, will connect onto BT Faded. Still got the Chrono, you've still got the Black Hole up. Now you've got no Song on Monet, at least for another minute. I wonder if FTD can make something happen.
They did expend that BKB on the Enigma as well, so it's not going to be the safest time for him. They do have a follow-up of that Global Silence, though, so the tools are still there for FTD. Just a bit of a trade. We'll see if they do commit sooner or later.
YRG. They're going to start static picking up those illusions. Still does give you a lot of damage, so why the hell not? Now the Chrono in the backlines. He's only caught one, but it is SRF, and that's really one of the only ways you can cancel the Black Hole off, although they'll find a trading QY. Now they're going to go for more Monet. Who's he going to aim for? In fact, BT Faded's the one aiming for him. There was a buyback on SRF, though. He's coming back into the Macropie. Does drop on BT Faded. Monet is still man-fighting, and the Black Hole does come out and does connect on two. This is their only chance they have. Monet will end up falling, though the buyback is there. Now your Enigma, he probably will end up dying throughout all this, and well, he's slowly burning down. Finally, he does go down. No buybacks available. Looks like they found the Razor as well. YRG's gone, and that should be it. They've only got the Void left, and he's been hexed up. And he's dead. They called the GG.
Pretty tight game. Some good team fights from FTD as well, but overall RNG just, they really found all the pickups they needed. They played around those big team fight ults from FTD quite well, and they spaced themselves out really nicely, Mike. It's very hard for VTFA to